To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making non-believers.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and welcome to episode 42 of NBA Talk, Playoff Edition. And yo, we got a lot of talk. We got a lot to talk about that happened this past weekend. But I just want to cut to the chase and let's start with this Game 7 that just passed, so we can finish off the first round. Yo, this was a battle test for the Denver Nuggets. This was a very big battle test. Because again, like I mentioned in my other video, going to a Game 7, especially against the San Antonio Spurs, it's never an easy task. But they came out and they came out and they defended home court. At first, I didn't feel like I was watching a Game 7 because I thought Denver was just gonna pull away and win by a large margin. But then, like San Antonio being San Antonio, they come back in a very non-common fashion. Jamal Murray, he came through in the clutch. Jokic, he balled out. Denver, like I said, they did their job. They defended home court. And in a Game 7, home court to me, in a Game 7, it's almost 50-50 a Game 7 because to me, home court doesn't matter as much because I think a Game 7 is like whatever happens, happens. But Denver was ready. They were ready. And I don't know what the Spurs were doing in the last 30 or so seconds of that game because they were just standing there and they just let Jamal Murray shoot that shot. Even though he missed, it was like, you're down by 4. You're down by 4. What are you doing? What is that about? Like, you just saw Jamal Murray hit some big shots in the fourth quarter, and you just left him to shoot a 3. And if that would have went in, that we would have just been looking like, what the hell were they doing? We're still saying that because you still allowed him to take that shot. I expected a little more urgency out of San Antonio, but I guess they saw that. I guess in their mind they thought this was over. Once Jamal Murray hit that floater, I guess they thought it was over. I don't know. I don't know. I was scratching my head a little bit, going like, why aren't they fouling him? Like, why aren't they fouling anybody? Like, but I guess maybe they thought the series was over. Like, I guess we don't know what's going on in the mindset of some of these players. I know DeMar DeRozan looked frustrated. Like, I know he looked frustrated. But yeah, then now we got the matchup of Denver against Portland. I don't know about you, but something tells me that if I pick against Portland, I'm going to be wrong. So I'm going to say Portland in 6. Because, I don't know, something about Portland is just showing me something different. But I heard something about Damian Lillard having a back injury and Enes Kanter's still not 100% healthy and all that other stuff. But for me, it's like, I don't know, what is it that if I pick against Portland, I feel like I'm going to get burnt. I feel like they're going to make me regret it. But then again, it's Denver. And Portland's not going to have home court advantage. But Damian Lillard's just been looking like such a bad man all of a sudden. Like he's been looking like the best point guard in the league right now. And since this playoff started, like he's been one of the best players in the playoffs. So I think depth-wise, I think for experience, I'm giving Portland. Home court, obviously Denver. Point guard matchup, I'm going to love seeing that. I'm going to love seeing Jamal Murray against Damian Lillard. I'm going to love seeing that. Like, that's going to be a fun matchup. That's going to be fun. And Gary Harris against CJ McCollum, that's going to be good too. Now, the real question is, who is Aruk Aminu going to be more responsible for? Because I believe Will Barton is in the starting lineup if I'm being correct. But I think Portland needs to be on their A game with their perimeter shooting. I expect Dame and CJ to be on point. I expect them to be on point. It's Aruka Minu and Seth Curry. Zach Collins? If I'm correct, all the other guys need to be on point with the perimeter shooting. And defensively, they got to be as aggressive as they were with OKC. They got to be aggressive on defense because when you got to deal with a big man who can pass like a point guard, that's scary enough as is. I think Jokic is going to be a problem for Cantor, but I think Cantor can physically bother Jokic, but he's just so much of a playmaker. And when he decides to pass, you're worrying more about who he's going to pass it to, and then when you trying to stop the pass, that's when Jokic gets aggressive from the three, and that's another thing. Jokic can hit the three, so it's like you got to deal. They could play a 5-out, and the paint could be wide open because this team is that explosive. The Denver Nuggets are a very explosive team. The Portland Trailblazers are gonna have their hands full. Like it's not gonna be a cakewalk. You're dealing with the second best team in the Western Conference, but something tells me that Portland just might win this series. So I want to say Portland in 6. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I want to say Portland in 6 because I just feel like Denver, the inexperience is gonna really start to kick in because this group has not made it this far in the playoffs, let alone made the playoffs. Like, this is their first official playoff run, and, well, not team. Obviously, the organization's been around for a while, but I'm talking about the players in general. This is their first official playoff run, and they went 7 games against the Spurs. To me, that's a big up when it comes to being battle-tested, especially in the first round. Walking into the playoffs and beating the San Antonio Spurs, like that's no easy task. But now you got to deal with an actual point guard who's as explosive as Steph Curry, and CJ McCollum could do the exact same thing. When Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are lighting it up from 3, everybody else on the court, if they start hitting their shots, if Aruka Minu starts hitting his shots, if Enes Kanter starts getting his points in the post, when Dame and CJ are clicking, and the rest of the team starts hitting their shots, that's when Portland becomes dangerous. But then on the other end, like I said, Denver is a very explosive team. Jamal Murray gets that 3-ball going, and it's going to be a nightmare. He gets that 3-ball going. He starts slashing to the basket. The biggest move that is going to be so hard for Portland is having to deal with Denver in transition, because Denver is very good in transition buckets. And for Denver, you need to learn a lesson when about guarding Damian Lillard and know this guy does not have a limit when it comes to his range. He will pull up right when he passes half court. Like, Damian Lillard has no limit to his range. Like, he has shown that in these playoffs. So Denver needs to be fully committed on making sure that Damian Lillard takes tough shots, defending him physically. Don't let him cut to the rim. And whenever Portland goes on those runs to make proper timeouts, and Jokic needs to be aggressive. He needs to be the X factor in this series, because with Kanter most likely having to go guard him at the 3-point line, it's going to open up the paint. So I would say advantage Denver, but then something tells me Portland is going to be extra fancy with how they're going to figure out their game plan on how to get the Denver Nuggets in foul trouble. But it should be a fun one. This should be a fun series. Like I said, I wanna go with my gut and say Portland in 6. I want to, like I really do. Moving on to the second round that's already started. So let's cover all the game ones. The Sixers and the Raptors. Didn't I tell you that Ben Simmons was going to struggle? Didn't I tell you Ben Simmons was going to struggle? And Kawhi Leonard just out the gate drops 45. Like, this is the thing about the Sixers. The Sixers are one of the best transition teams, along with the Denver Nuggets. They can score the ball, they'll score the basket very easily in transition. They can score very easy in transition. But when it comes to half-court sets, they look stagnant from time to time. I don't know what it is about the Sixers that they just look stagnant. And Toronto, they have shooters, they have players that could get their own shots. Between Kyle Lowry, between Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, hell, even Serge Ibaka, even though he doesn't really create his own shot, he shoots a set shot. He can still hit his floaters every now and then. Marc Gasol, this is the thing I'm talking about. And then Ben Simmons needs to be a slashing threat. He can't just stand around and watch Embiid in the post. He can't. He can't just watch Embiid in the post. And this is where Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris need to be explosive. Like, I don't want to see anybody standing around in the perimeter in game 2. I really don't. Like, there needs to be some movement. I'm so sick and tired whenever I see a basketball game, and just because you got a superstar, that means everybody's just got to stand around and do nothing while they try to work their magic. I can't stand that. I really can't. That's not basketball. I really cannot stand that. Like, that's why Toronto was doing everything and anything that they wanted against the Sixers. So the Sixers need to win game 2. They need to win game 2. It's a must win for me. This game 2 determines the series. They need to win a road game if you're going to beat the Raptors. If you're going to beat the Raptors in the playoff series, you need to win a road game. So this game 2, they need to play this game like it's a game 7. Because you cannot go back to Philly down 0-2 against the Raptors. Not the way Kawhi Leonard's been playing. No way. He has been playing like he's he's the best player on the planet right now. Like, Kawhi Leonard is just eating them alive. Jimmy Butler, I understand it's not completely your sole job at guarding Kawhi Leonard, but I'm just asking you to be a little more physical and try to build a wall around Kawhi Leonard. Like, try to play a 2-3 zone to make Kawhi Leonard turn more into a 3-point shooter. Because when he steps in from the 3-point line and gets to that mid-range and the rim, he's money. Mid-range, he's money. So turn Kawhi Leonard into a 3-point shooter. Because even though he's been killing it from the 3-ball so far, I would rather Kawhi Leonard shoot 10 threes than have him shoot from the mid. Because Kawhi Leonard shooting from mid-range is just straight money. He's money. And you do not have a great post defender unless you're going to put Embiid on Kawhi Leonard. That's just, like, I don't think that's a smart decision. But he was killing Jimmy Butler. He was killing Tobias Harris. And like I said, Ben Simmons needs to be a little more of a factor defensively if he's not going to be effective offensively. Because Ben Simmons refuses to shoot. Like, he refuses, and from what I see, he's looking more and more like he can't shoot. But Ben Simmons, if he's going to be a factor, at least try to get to the free throw line. At least try to get to the free throw line, because then at least I can say I have a little bit of faith of him making his free throws than trying to go for a mid-range shot. So yeah, that's why I would want Ben Simmons to do. The Raptors, they're doing what they always do. They're going to Kawhi. He makes his mid ranges, and when the defense tries to clutter up on him, that's when they start making their perimeter shots. Marc Gasol going at it in the post, hitting his threes. Pascal Siakam. Every time I see this guy play, I'm nothing but amazed from what I've seen from this guy since last year. He's a way better player than he was last year. Way better. Like if this Pascal Siakam was on that Raptors team last year that won 59 games, I really don't see the Raptors getting swept last year. I really didn't see the Raptors getting swept last year if this Pascal Siakam was there last year. He's gotten so much better since last season. And that's going to be the problem when it comes to Philly because this is a deep veteran roster and Philly is not that deep, but at the same time they need to show more urgency on defense. Don't stand around like force a mismatch on offense and switch up on defense. And then Embiid, I don't know if he's 100% or not, but he got to be a killer. He's got to come in and be a killer. Stop the flopping and all this other stuff and just go to the paint and try to dominate in the post and go to the free throw line. Because if you try to stand around and shoot threes, for some reason, I do not have a lot of faith in Embiid shooting threes, except for that Game 5 against the Nets because he looked like he couldn't miss that game. But yeah, that's for Game 1. Game 2, they need to be more urgent. They need to play this Game 2 like it's a Game 7. They need to play like they're about to get eliminated because they need to show more urgency. You cannot go back to Philly down 0-2. Now let's talk about the next game. The Celtics and the Bucks. Well, people are shocked at the way the Bucks lost. I'm not. I'm not saying the Bucks are going to lose this series. I really don't. I still got Bucks in 6. They lost Game 1 in such a bad fashion. And Boston, all they did was they're playing a 3-2 zone. They're playing a 3-2 zone and they're building a wall instead of building it at the rim. They're building it at the 3-point line, at the free throw line. They're forcing Giannis to become more of a passer. But I'm telling you, I think Milwaukee's going to make adjustments because I don't see that defense working for a very long time. I do not see that game plan working for a while. It might have thrown Milwaukee off in Game 1, but I don't see that working for an entire series. It's not going to work for an entire series. Giannis is not going to be scared of a wall that's built of Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and Jaylen Brown. Like he's not gonna stop going to the rim. And yeah, Al Horford played a good defensive game. He blocked Giannis 3 times. Oh wow, he blocked him 3 times. Like, yeah, let's see Al Horford do that. Let's see Al Horford do that again. And if he does, good for him. But I just don't see Giannis getting full on shut down. And it's like I don't. He's been too good this year to supposedly get shut down. He's not. It's like I don't see that 3-2 zone working the same way in Game 2. Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving. What do I gotta say about Kyrie Irving? He's one of the best point guards in the league and one of the best scoring point guards that I've seen. He's the best finisher I've ever seen. And when it comes to going under the basket, he's one of the best finishers. Like that's where I think Milwaukee is going to struggle with Kyrie Irving. But I do not see the Celtics hitting perimeter shots on a high rate. I do not see them playing that aggressive defense like they did in Game 1. I think the Bucks were lackadaisical. They were falling back and just shooting a bunch of threes. I think they need to go back and doing what they were doing. They were cutting, letting Giannis go in the post. Eric Bledsoe needs to step up. Brook Lopez, if he hits his threes, that's great. But he needs to be a rim protector. That's what he needs to be. He needs to be a rim protector. And Ilyasova, he needs to be a defensive powerhouse too. Not saying he's gonna be because he has his moments where he could play defense, but he has his moments where he looks like he's not even there. But But yeah, Ilyasova, he needs to hit his perimeter shots. Chris Middleton needs to hit and obviously hit his threes. He needs to hit his threes and hit his mid-range shots. The Boston Celtics, they're a very physical team. They're a very physical team. So this is another battle test for Milwaukee, because you lost to this team last year without the full healthy core of this group. You lost to this team. You need to come with a little more fire in game 2. You need to come and show Boston we're not the number 1 seed for no reason. We weren't playing like the best team in the NBA for no reason. I still got Bucks in 6. Well, wait a minute. I said Bucks in 5 at first. Like, I still got Bucks in 5, and if Boston wins another game, I got Bucks in 6. I'm not gonna change my mind. I'm sticking with the Bucks. Like, Giannis has to be the overall X factor, and he can't be the sole guy that beats the Celtics. It takes a team effort to beat the Boston Celtics. I don't want to hear, Boston, that they finally found their chemistry in the playoffs. They finally found their chemistry. Nah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. That cannot be the case, because they barely were winning a series against Indiana. Yeah, it was a 4-game sweep, but every game was close. You really think that they're going to play like this against Milwaukee again? I don't see it. I really don't. I don't see them playing like this against Milwaukee. I see Milwaukee coming back and being explosive, like they've always been. I see them looking like the best team in the league. I get it. They swept the Pistons, and Blake Griffin didn't play the majority of the series. Okay, and I don't care. They did not get 60 wins for no reason. The Bucks are the team to beat. I don't care about the Celtics. Yeah, they're a tough group of guys, and they're very deep. But I still like the Bucks' chances in this series. It's just one game. People are overreacting over one game. I expect the Bucks to come back more aggressive in game 2. Now, the game that everybody's talking about from yesterday. Oh, man, the rematch that we all wanted to see between the Rockets and the Warriors. Oh, we got a lot to talk about, because this was not a pretty game. This was not a pretty game whatsoever. Now, I'm talking about from both teams. Both teams were not looking very nice in this game. But the Warriors committed a lot of turnovers. The Warriors committed a lot of turnovers. And the only reason that the Warriors were still in this and they maintained the lead is because of that man, Kevin Durant. I talk all my junk about Kevin Durant's personality, but I will never say Kevin Durant can't ball. I will never say that Kevin Durant cannot play basketball. I will never say Kevin Durant sucks. I will never say he's trash. He is not trash. Kevin Durant is a bucket machine. He's one of the top players on the planet. I'm not calling him the best player on the planet, but when it comes to getting buckets, oh my God, Kevin Durant could just do it effortlessly. And when this is where the Houston Rockets, this is where they missed Trevor Ariza. Because at least they had a guy that had a little bit of size that could get on Kevin Durant and defend the post. PJ Tucker, you did the best job you can do. You were stripping Kevin Durant. Like, I commend PJ Tucker. Like, this is gonna be a long series. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be a long series. I still got hope in the Rockets. I'm praying on the Rockets to make this a tough series. I want Rockets to win in 6. I really do. But I love how physical they got with Steph and Clay. The Rockets made Steph and Clay work to get their shots. They really did. And as bad as Houston shot the ball, this was still a really close game. Like at first, I thought we were going to be on the verge of a blowout, but then Houston came back and when they were down, they would make how many threes in a row? But CP3, you need to make a statement in this series. You need to come out. You need to come into game 2 and just be like, I should be the reason why we win this series. Aside the fact that we have the MVP. We got the reigning MVP on our team. You need to prove that because you got hurt last year, that you should have been in the finals last year. You could have probably had a championship last year. You need to come out and say, if I was not hurt, we would have won the series. I need to see better play from Chris Paul. And like I said, Kevin Durant came and balled out because I did not see no other form of production when it came to the Warriors. Yeah, Draymond Green and Kawhi Looney, they were splitting points and assists and rebounds and getting defensive plays here and there. Andre Iguodala showed little flashes of hitting threes and making his plays. But you cannot say that Kevin Durant didn't save them. You cannot say Kevin Durant didn't save the Warriors. He put the team on his back, and he put the whole team on his back to win that game 1. And if the Rockets shoot this bad and they play that good a defense on Steph and Clay, and it comes down to that close every single game, the Warriors will lose games the way they played that game 1, especially committing 8 turnovers. What is it? 8 turnovers in the first quarter? First quarter or the first half? Like, are you kidding me? Kevin Durant drops 35 and you only won by 4? I don't know. Yeah, Steph Curry hit that late 3 over in the net, but do you realize how close this game was? Do you realize that? But I don't think everybody is a lot talking about the game itself other than the officiating. The officiating in this game was so bad. It was so bad. I cannot believe I'm saying this because I killed James Harden for doing this. But I'm actually in defense of James Harden for once. He was getting mistreated by the referees. He was getting bodied at the 3-point line, and they didn't call no foul. It's the same thing they did in Game 7. The same exact thing. He would get bodied at the 3-point line, and they wouldn't call fouls. There was a total. There was probably maybe 17 points worth of free throws that they didn't get. That's what I was saying to somebody yesterday, that the Rockets probably would have won this game if they would have got all those free throws. Steph Curry has been getting into foul trouble since the playoffs began. Steph Curry has been getting into nothing but foul trouble. Klay Thompson, not so much, but his shot has been looking off a little bit. I've seen one good game from Klay Thompson throughout these playoffs. One good game. I've seen his shot just look off in these playoffs. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. He's getting buckets. Between him and Damian Lillard, sorry if I said that wrong, they've been looking like the best players in the playoffs. But James Harden, I gotta say something. You need to stop. If you learned something from the Utah series, is that the ref is not your best friend. The ref is not your best friend. You need to go to the hole. Because that is the only way you're going to get calls from here on out. You need to go to the hole. I understand that you are a three-point shooter. You guys are a three-point shooting team. You live and die by the three. For God's sake, in the first half, you took 29 threes. 44 altogether. Like, 44 threes the entire game. I understand this is a live and die by the three team. And when they're making their threes, they are impossible to beat. But James Harden, against the Warriors, you're not going to outshoot the Warriors. You need to go to the hole. You need to go to the hole and go to the line that way. Because other than you need to let somebody literally fall on you so you could get the calls. I don't know what are you trying to do, because you did this all season. But this is where you need to show that you're a different player. I don't blame James Harden for the game 1 loss. I really don't. I don't blame him for the game 1 loss. But he needs to come up in game 2 and just straight out. He needs to ball out. Because I know Eric Gordon's going to step up. He's not going to shoot as bad as he did in game 1. Clint Capella is not going to be a minus 17 on the floor. He's going to be a rim protector. He's going to get those rebounds. PJ Tucker is not going to go scoreless. He is going to hit his corner threes. He's going to be in the paint being a pest. He's going to try and be a great defender on Kevin Durant. I saw that great effort that he put up. Even though Kevin Durant still put up 35, I commend PJ Tucker for his effort. CP3, you need to attack the paint. You need to attack the paint and get Clint Capella involved. Because James Harden was damn near rejected every time he tried to get Clint Capella involved. The Rockets in general, they need to come out and they need to be a little more sharp. They need to be more sharp and more precise with their plays. Because for the game to come down that close to the wire, and it came down to officiating, so that lost them the game. Like, unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. But I believe the NBA is looking at the game tape, and I believe the game is going to be called a little more differently. Don't be surprised if the Rockets win game 2 because of this. Because it's getting national attention. And last thing I need to explain. Klay Thompson fouled CP3. He did not deserve to get thrown out of that game. He really didn't. That first technical, I get it. You balked at the ref because you didn't get the foul call when you made that 3. Got it. But he did not deserve that second technical. He really did not. He did not intentionally try to go at the ref. He ran into Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson fouled him. He fouled him. Like come on. I think my younger sister, who barely watches basketball, couldn't see that Chris Paul got fouled. I don't care if you tell me this is the playoffs. I see what I see. CP3 did not deserve to get ejected. He did not deserve that second technical. He really did not. He did not deserve that second technical. It's unbelievable. But like I said, don't be surprised if the Rockets win game 2. Do not be surprised if the Rockets win game 2. Now, if they don't, they don't. But don't be surprised if they win game 2. Don't be surprised if the Houston Rockets get more free throws in game 2 because of what happened in game 1. Don't be surprised. Because the Rockets, that last play is going to impact how this series is going to go down. And like Stephen A. Smith said, if the Rockets just stay quiet and don't chirp at the refs, they're going to look at Golden State and say, hey, you were chirping at us all season every time we gave you guys a foul. The series might turn around if the Rockets just keep their mouth shut. Do I expect them to do that? No, because it's the Houston Rockets. It's the NBA. players complain to the ref all the time. It happens. But what can you do? But yeah, like I said, this should be a fun series. I was dying for this rematch and for it to come down this close. Kevin Durant's a bad man. He like I said, I question his personality. I question his intentions, but like, I will never question what he could do on the basketball court. Other than the fact that he plays for a team where he doesn't need to, that he plays on the Golden State Warriors and he don't need to worry about getting double teamed. He does not need to be worried about getting double teamed. You need to worry more about Stephen Clay getting hot and then Kevin Durant hitting his shots, and then that's it. It's over. It's damn near impossible to beat him. But if Stephen Clay are not hitting shots, Kevin Durant's going to go to work. He's going to go to work and he's going to get his shots. You could try as best as you can. He'll miss a few shots here and there. As a matter of fact, I think, what was Kevin Durant, 9 for 20 something in this game? What was he, 9 for something in this game? Yeah. Yeah, this should be a fun series, man. Anyway, that's all. This is your boy J Varsity. So go to the comments, like, subscribe if you like basketball content, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseas.